Howdy ho, neighborinos. It's another Saturday morning. Well, noon. It's technically noon now, but it was morning a minute ago when I was preparing my hidely hoes of the morning. So, today we are starting off with Flynn's question, which is it worth doing the speaker meet and greet at the Chicago Aquatic Experience? I don't know, because I didn't know that was going on. I don't know if they do that every year. I never saw it when I was there. But usually when you go and you see people speaking, you just walk up to them and you're like, hey, you're awesome. And they go, oh, I am? Well, thank you. And then you can just talk with them. And most speakers that are giving a talk at the Aquatic Experience, I say most, I don't know that I've met one that isn't, but are super cool and laid back and are just hobbyists and want to chat with you. So really what I think that question comes down to is, do I buy just the floor pass when I go to Chicago, or do I get the talks? Now, last year, I did the talks, and I like to learn. I like to learn a lot. So a lot of the time, I was upstairs learning both the retailer, so meant for like stores, and then they also had like Lawrence Kent and stuff like that, who was speaking on his trip to Ghana and that kind of thing, and that was super cool also. So I don't know. If you really like talks, it can be awesome. Keep in mind, you're not going to be on the floor. If you want to hang out and talk to me, I'm going to be down on the floor. If you want to spend 3 days there, I would say probably attend at least some of the talks, because 3 days of Corey is too much. Meanwhile, you're going to have everyone else. There's a lot of pointing going on.
Oh, no, don't worry about me. I'm just...
But, you know, I would say if you're going to be there all 3 days and some of the talks do interest you, strongly consider it. If not, you know, just hang out and talk with the vendors, talk with us. I really kind of wanted to do the Friday class, which is an all-day class about fish health, but I've already had a class by that gentleman, and I'm thinking there's going to be some overlap. Plus, all you guys are coming, and some of you can only be there on a Friday, and I don't want to be the guy like, well, you know, I would have shown up, but I was too busy doing my brain thinkings, and I was upstairs.
I say if you do the meet and greet, though, I would do my homework and, you know, write a bunch of questions down, so if you have that little time with them, you can ask them all those questions if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it, you know.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's going to be a big crowd, and, you know, I got word last night. I was talking to Corvus Oceans, where, you know, you probably saw he was on the show and all that. He's trying to make some magicals happen and attend himself, so, you know, we might get one YouTuber stronger, you know. I'm hoping there's just this big traffic jam. I want it so that, like, everyone walks in and be like, what's going on over there? Oh, yeah, that's where all the people are. I should go over there. That would be the ultimate goal. So...
what kind of stones are in the 800 gallon?
What kind of stones? I believe...
Mexican river rock.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, they might be Mexican pebble rock. Yeah. It's one of those two. They were about 32 cents a pound, and definitely weigh a lot when you buy 500 pounds worth. Your car, you know, I was low riding on the way back, but luckily it was only like a mile. So, yeah. We're on the wrong sides. Did you make it wrong? Are you bad? No. It's just because Jimmy does research and he knows, what is it, the human eye tends to the left?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
To the left.
So he wants to not be in the spotlight, so he puts me in the left, so everyone's watching me pick my nose instead of catching him picking his nose. But
I think it just stems with, like, news broadcasts. The news anchor's always on the left, and they have the...
Is that true?
Right. Yeah, I think so.
I feel like the weather person's on the right, though.
Okay, you could be a weather person if
maybe
you want.
we're in the weather show. we're the weather.
I'll switch us around.
Oh, man. So anyway, I'm trying to think of what else we're going to do on the Shenanigans Saturdays. And I think it's a good time to talk about pet peeves. So one of my biggest pet peeves in business is when someone starts a conversation with, do you know how much money I spend with you? And for me, that's a giant pet peeve, because I always know how much money you're spending with me. Either A, I know exactly who you are and how much money you spend with me, or B, I don't. And if I don't, that means you're trying to pull the I spend a ton of money with you card and you don't spend a ton of money with me. So for instance, the latest one, they were my 73rd best customer. Meanwhile, they're claiming they are my best customer. And it's like, well, there's a lot of people in front of you. And for me, I think you guys know this, I'm not solely driven by money. I mean, I have to have money to pay Jimmy and make people hang out with me, because no one will hang out with me unless I pay them. But other than that, I'm really here to help people. So, you know, you've got a way better chance saying, hey, I'm new to the hobby and I need some help, I'm all ears. But when you start off with, I spend a lot of money, you better answer this. That literally gets me this close to not answering you at all, because it's like you're bringing in some kind of special privilege. And I don't enjoy that. I don't like being manipulated like, well, I own you. So no one likes that scenario. So that's my pet peeve of, and don't do that to your local store or anyone. Either A, you are a good customer and they know who you are and they're going to help you, or B, they're not, because you throw your money around. Like, we already know as a store owner, if we're telling you like, I'm sorry, we got to go by our policy or whatever and we can't help you today. We already know if you spend $100,000 with us and you get angry and leave, we won't get any more of your money. You don't have to throw that in our face. We're going to go, oh yeah, that's right, you do spend $100,000. I had forgotten. So it's kind of one of those things, and I would just say, in general, don't start a conversation with the money aspect, especially with me. I mean, maybe other people are that way, but for me, I help everyone the same, and I try not to pay gate it, if you will. So you are in the line with everyone else, whether you're spending money or not, and we answer tons of questions to people around the world that can't spend money. It'd be impossible for them to spend money with us, but everyone gets an even turn. Now, the only time that is kind of deviated from is either A, you make me very angry and I won't talk to you, or B, you jump the line, so to speak, and that is like schedule a paid consultation or something like that. But even those are limited. Like, I don't have unlimited time. But those are the only sources. Otherwise, it's an even system. Like, you get in line, you wait your turn, and that's how it works. And so a lot of people get real angry when I don't get back to them right away. And it's like, well, there was 700 people in front of you. When 701 comes up, boom, it's your turn. I will take that time. And that's how it goes. So that's my rant of the Saturday of, let's not bring money into this. Let's bring just compassion and, an even-keeledness to help everyone. I realize I got my second monitor on. It's probably creating a glare. I can't talk good when I do that, apparently.
Okay.
No, I turned it off. I seen it. Okay. I seen it.
Do we have the same barber? Yes. And do you guys ever announce if you guys are visiting homes on the way back?
On the way back, we are for sure. On the way there, so you're going to think this would be impossible. We literally haven't planned our trip there yet. I intend to try to do that tonight. No joke. The people that are on the maybe visiting list would be like Candy Overhaul. She might be in the chat. I haven't looked at the chat yet. And then there's Kang Lee. Mm-hmm. Both of those, but I'm not committing to either of them. And I fully realize they're both going, well, if you're going to show up, please let me know. And I'm kind of on the fence of like, let's see how this goes. We've never taken this van before. I've never driven with Jimmy before. I mean, maybe he's got like wicked bowel problems and we got to stop every 4 seconds, or maybe he snores and he's keeping me, I can't drive. Who knows, right? So I don't want to make time commitments on the way there, but then on the way back, I think it could work. Because if we, like, let's say, because I know I have a chronic problem of like, oh, you have fish tanks. I should stand here and talk about them for the next 6 hours. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to be on the road. We don't want to get to the convention late. On the way back, though, really, I'm only getting back late to work, and that I've got a good team of people in place at the at the co-op. That is much more manageable. And man, I got like something in my teeth. I'm having a problem here. But I think that is what we're gonna do. So I think, and this is nothing set in stone yet, but we sent out some feelers to some fish rooms. There's a possible Gary Lang fish tour. There's a possible Rusty Wessel fish tour. There's a couple other ones that I don't know them personally. Not that I know these guys super personally, but I do know of them. I have met them before. We'll see what comes in and actually happens and what fits a schedule. There's maybe we bombard Greg Sage of Select Aquatics. I messaged him this morning. I don't know if we're going to go that far south on the way back. And then there's also, my brain forgot who it was. Maybe like LR Brett's. We haven't asked him yet, but I could crash his place and just be like, we're here, dude. Yeah. But I haven't decided that yet because we're going to see him in Chicago and all those things. So.
Okay, before I get to the super chat, I wanted to answer this question. Where did it go? I lost it.
I'm getting to the super chat while you find it.
All right, go ahead.
Michael Trevino with the $5 super chat. So that's a third way to get your question to the top of the pile, by the way. I forgot about that. I just got your trio of meds. Do I have to worry about killing my good bacteria? So let me give the spiel on that. For me personally, every aquarium I own goes through erythromycin pretty regularly, or at least all the quarantine, all that stuff. So every tank in my store has been through it. I haven't had any problems. Now, someone more nerdy than me went and did some research, more research than I did, and I tend to forget research that I consider useless. So I believe it's one or the other, but basically erythromycin kills, I think, gram negative, and then beneficial bacteria is gram positive, so it hits the other type of bacteria, and it's one of those two, right? It's either A or B. Either the thing that the takeaway is it kills the bacteria that your beneficial bacteria isn't. So it shouldn't inhibit it. So that being said, when you jam an aquarium full of medicines and you use erythromycin, General Cure, Earth, and ICX, you're putting in a lot of meds, a lot of stuff going on. I would keep an eye on it, and I would reduce feeding a little bit and all that. But for me, at least, I don't have any problems, and a lot of other people aren't. Some people have reported like, "Oh man, I'm getting ammonia" and stuff like that. But also the meds, you could have a fish die. There's a lot of sometimes people have like a ton of, let's say, live blackworms in their substrate, and if you drop General Cure in there, you're basically killing those, and so the ammonia comes from stuff like that. So there's, also, let's say they were filled with tapeworms, and you load up on General Cure, and they all poop their guts out. There's way more bioload going into that water than normal, and so you might get an ammonia spike there. So take it easy, but I've been very successful with those meds. I like them. In fact, we are working on I won't say an update, but another quarantine med video that is shot just a little bit better audio and a little bit shorter. And because last time, I think when I put those videos out way in the past, we had like 20 or 30,000 subscribers. And right now there's like 50,000 people that have joined the channel that have no idea what I do for quarantine meds. They get little snippets here and there, but it's time to release another one. So for the 20 or 30,000 of you who've been with us for a long time now, it'll be a little bit of review. For everyone new, they'll be going, "Wow, Corey doesn't know anything. This guy's insane." And then it'll take about a year before people go, "Oh, maybe he's onto something." So what did you find, though?
Coupon code. What's it for?
Oh, what is it for? The coupon code gets you 10% off the entire store. And I'm basically going to let that run for a little while. So we got to go out of town. I think like Monday, me and Jimmy hit the road. Maybe Tuesday. I don't know. We got a plan, right?
Yeah, that's why LR Rest is asking where we're going too. So.
Oh, so he's on
Easy, yeah.
Okay, well, we might try and bombard you, LR Bretts. We can talk about that through the Space Books and figure out if that makes sense with our course and your schedule and things like that. But the code is 10% off the entire website. Also, if you're not already following us on Facebook, everyone who ordered, I think, since Friday gets a free Neverclog Airstone and entered into the Raffle of Doom.
Oh, it's so awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Basically, I've been letting my employees have more and more rain. They keep pulling more products off. There's gift cards, products, stuff like that. And we're going to pull from people that buy in store and buy online. So basically, you can save 10%, get entered into a raffle, and get a free Airstone if you buy, I think, till about Sunday night. And then after that, you probably just get 10% off for a while until I turn that code off. But I'm going to leave it running because I don't know how many promos and how often I'm going to speak to you guys while on the road. We're going to be gone for, well, the convention's that next weekend. So at least 7 days. And then we got to drive back. So I'm hoping that we'll only miss one Saturday shenanigan extravaganza. But it could be two, if Awesome Fish Rooms keep opening up and the road is paved with gold, we will go there because you take the opportunities when you get them. All right, we did get a super chat from Daryl Dimer.
Awesome. Always with the $20 super chats. He's
$20.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Did he say anything?
I was just shocked. I was like, "Not even a question." Well, thank you.
Oh. Thanks, Daryl.
It will
Probably
go.
For gas.
I'm still putting it towards the new cameras.
Okay.
We did order some stuff. We'll see how it goes. We don't want to announce it because then people are gonna be like, "Ooh, hey, let me know." And then if it's like bad, we're gonna send it back and they'll be like, "Oh, well, that was a waste of our time. Why'd you do that?" So
Lucas says you guys are welcome to come, and Gary Lang would be awesome.
Yeah. Does the code work in the store or just online? Technically, it's just online, but if you go into the store and you're like, "Hey, I was watching the Saturday shenanigans this morning, and Corey said that MK Films said I could use this in store, they'll probably just believe you. And then tell them I specifically told you to tell Robert that I told you to tell Robert that you could do that. And he'll be like, that sounds so convoluted, it must be true. So, yeah.
So when does their road trip begin? Anyone know? Probably Monday, right?
As far as, I mean, that's my guess. It's 33
We'll
hours.
talk about it.
33 hours of driving, and the convention starts on Friday.
Yeah. So
That's if we literally never stop. And we will stop, because I guarantee in 33 hours I will have to pee. At least once.
yeah.
So,
Plus, we have beds inside the car, so we can stop anywhere, anytime, and take a rest. So, that's
yeah. The goal is that we're going to see. Like, I talk a big game like, oh, man, I am going to be doing some driving. I tell you what. But maybe by day 2, I'm like, you know what? Let's just sleep. At 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd rather sleep till 7. Let's get back on the road. You know. Yeah.
Does a coupon work in store or just online?
I just answered that.
Oh, well,
Come on,
sorry,
man.
I'm sorry,
Come
I'm sorry,
on.
I'm sorry.
Dean H. with the $25 super chat. Enjoying the Saturday live streams. Have a wonderful and safe road trip. Love ya. Well, thanks, buddy. Speaking of Dean H., I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I've got Aquarium Co-op hats. They have been entered into production. I have made them. And
He's a hat guy, so.
yeah, so I was intending on sending you one. But they're taking forever. Like I paid like $1,000 like over 30 days ago for hats, and I still don't have any hats. I've seen a picture of one of them, but that was the proof. That's all I've got so far. So in theory, hopefully by the time I'm back, hats will be around.
Corvus Oskin is in the house.
Yeah. So Jimmy made a super dramatic, funny video with all like the B-roll footage from when we went over to your house, and we're gonna release it. And he was just gonna put it on the Shimmy Whiskey channel, but so here's the conflict I run into. The internet, which would be not so much you guys. I don't consider you guys the internet. You guys are like, the crew. You're here, you know us. But when you sample it out to the internet of people that don't know that we're just two taco-loving dudes in a room, they're just like, what is this? This had nothing to do with fish. I'm offended. Not only am I going to unsubscribe, I'm going to go kick my dog and record it and then send you a video of its Yelp just so you know how angry I am that you'd put out a video that's not fish-related.
This is true.
So he made a cool video, a lot of editing. He was basically playing with techniques, and that's the thing is like, so Jimmy will go and do stuff, and I go, wow, that's super cool, and he's trying to hone his skills. And then I look at it and I go, you know what? I would watch that. And so I'm going to put it out. And a lot of times people are like, oh, man, I hate this. Why won't you do this video? And the reality is it's not we're going to let you watch this video instead of this video. It's here was going to be nothing, and instead you could watch this. So like, for instance, someone was complaining about the 800-gallon live stream videos on Fridays. So the option is nothing, or I hop on for 10 minutes, play with my aquarium, talk to you guys, and just have a little bit of fun. So it's not like your option is I sit down and I go, okay, should I release the best video anyone's ever seen today, or should I make them sit through a live stream for 5 minutes? It's mostly, all right, I got like 20 minutes I can kill before we got to go to the shop and do that thing and that thing. Hey, let's hop on, let's show them this thing. That's kind of cool. And so that's the way we run, and that's the way Jimmy was up till late last night and playing around, working on skills, things that we can implement long-term into the Aquarium Co-op videos, but you got to test it somewhere. And the video came out. It's only like 3 minutes long. I think it's super cool. I enjoy it. We'll put it out on this channel. And it's not going to take the place of like the Wednesday video where you're like, normally you're reviewing or doing something like an Aquarium Co-op video. Instead, it'll release like on a Sunday or a Friday or something, just like randomly. And you'll be like, hey, there's another video we weren't expecting. So take it as like, oh, here's something for free that maybe I enjoy, maybe I don't. And then, yeah. So.
All right, so how are you guys? What would you use to eliminate anchor worms from Val?
Anchor worms from Val? Like Val Scenario?
No, the person that's asking is from Val.
Oh, from Val. That's the person. Anchor worms, for me personally, I've had some strains I can treat with clout, which is nice because that's like an over-the-counter, pretty easy to get med. When I did get some anchor worms, when we were shipping goldfish, I ran into a nasty strain of them I couldn't get rid of very easily. So I ordered a medicine called Dimilin, Dimlin, off of eBay. And they're selling it like in pawn strength. So I think I got a bottle like this big that will treat like the next 40 billion cases of anchorworm I run into. And it worked pretty good. I think really prolonged use of it. Like I wouldn't use it willy-nilly. I would definitely be like, oh, I got anchorworms. I need to treat this. And then water change it out. That type of thing. But Dimilin is my weapon of choice when clout won't get it. If that makes sense for you. I'm not a guy that will typically manually remove them because when I get goldfish in, usually it's like, oh, I have a ton of them, and it's easier just to kill them. If I only had one, that maybe I'd remove the big ones and then I would treat. So.
Okay. So I heard dwarf baby tears need low 70s and betas need high 70s. What temperature do you recommend keeping them together?
Okay, so this is what I call the internet effect. There's a couple of things going on. In a vacuum, dwarf baby tears prefer cooler temperatures. And in fact, almost all plants prefer cooler temperatures. Bettas, yeah, 78 would be fine. They actually like about 80 maybe. So in their perfect vacuum, yes, those would both be happiest at those ranges. In reality, they do just fine both living at 78. So the internet sometimes will be like, they'll grow better if they're at 72. So in reality, though, in a year, let's say they would grow 8 feet long, or 8 feet worth of growth in 1 year at 72. At 78, you're only going to get 7 3/4 feet worth of growth. So to the practicality of your own growing makes no difference at all. So I would say keep them together. And really the biggest limiting for most people when it comes to dwarf baby tears is some CO2 injection. It's very, very difficult to grow them without CO2 injection. It can be done, but you have to use a crazy amount of light, and then most people struggle controlling the algae part of that crazy amount of light part. So,
I want to get a school of silver dollars or giant Daniels. I don't have a spare tank to quarantine. What should I use to quarantine them?
So like in the van, I'm going to take a big clear Sterilite tub. I bought it at Walmart on clearance for $14. You could probably buy them cheaper, I don't know. But a tub like that will work, and with the giant Danios, you wouldn't even have to do a heater because they can go like room temperature. That being said, I do realize most people don't have quarantine tanks, and I would just use the meds and quarantine them in the main tank. Now, I know what I just said goes against every rule ever, right? But this is practical fish keeping. This is... Most people don't have a billion tanks, and they're going to do this anyway. They're just not going to tell the public they're doing it. They're like, well, I'll tell you what, I put a fish in my tank the other day, and there was other fish in it. But if you say that online, they're going to tear you apart. So the reality is most people do that and just use some meds. And yeah, are you taking a risk? There is some risk there. There's probably 3% chance you're going to have a total die-off and kill everything. And let's say you don't do any meds, though, you probably have a 40% chance you could bring in an illness, and in 2 or 3 months it kills everything anyway. So I use meds, and yeah, perfect world, you got a quarantine tank. But we're not always in the perfect world.
Will we be vlogging the trip? I always record everything, no matter what.
I don't know if you record everything. Half the time I got to tell this guy to vlog. I'm like, hey, try to make a vlog out of this. But yes, I think we're gonna try. We might even try to upload from the road. Like, that's the biggest thing, right? We're going to film the way there. It'll be me drinking chocolate milk and eating Reese's peanut butter cups to stay awake for 33 hours. We're not going to time lapse that at all, by the way. It's going to be real time. 33 hours of me eating chocolate peanut butter cups and chocolate milk, and we'll put that out.
We'll upload every single minute of it.
And then when we get to the hotel, we're hoping it's got fast enough internet. We'll bring some computers so we can do some editing and get some stuff up, maybe real time for you. And it all depends. Like, I don't know. Does Madison, Wisconsin have rad Verizon wireless? Maybe I can go live. Like, don't know. That's the problem with the whole mobile thing is we're getting a bunch of videos ready. And I say bunch because we got to fill 2 channels and get all that ready. But the goal is that videos will come out for the next 2 weeks, even if we, blow up in the van and die. We'll at least get those 2. You get 2 more weeks of videos no matter what happens. So, let's see. The Lysander, I want to chime in on this one, if you will.
Sure.
I dipped out of the fish live stream sphere for a while, and this second Aquarium Co-op channel was made. What's the point of it? More community-orientated, while the other stays more business-oriented. Oriented? I always say orientated, but it's oriented.
Oriented.
So the original idea is this. We have the Aquarium Co-op channel, and every time you put out a video that doesn't do well, YouTube punishes you. So if I want to test something new, like let's say I want to test Pimp My Fish Tank, where I come to your house and I make it look really cool and I give you a bunch of cool stuff and all that, and we make the video and put it out and 5,000 people watch it, YouTube is going to go, oh, well that was a train wreck. Let's not show Aquarium Co-op to as many people next time. Or we can release that video on Aquarium Co-op 2, which that's YouTube/Aquarium Co-op 2. That would be this channel, Jimmy of Aquarium Co-op. We can put it out there, and we can go, oh, that video was horrible. We had fun, but people didn't like watching it. Let's not put that on the main channel. Or sometimes we're just out there filming. Like, for instance, Backyard Aquatics Tour. We're out filming, a lot of glare. We're having a great time. We're a little bit rushed for time, things like that. And we put it together and we go, you know what? I feel like we could go back and do a better job. So let's put this out on the second channel. We still have the footage. It's still fun. Still lots of learning going on. But let's save, their video. When we go back, we do a better job. We get better shots and things like that. We have more time and we're not on a time rush. And so that's this channel. This channel we have all this footage that has two options. Get thrown away and never seen, or B, come out on this channel. And unfortunately, well, I won't say unfortunately, but we try really hard with every video we make, right? So we don't evaluate whether it's going to go on the main channel or not until after the video is made. So we put a bunch of time into it, might be 30 hours of editing, and then I watch and I go, you know what? This isn't good enough. And if Jimmy thinks the same thing, he's like, yeah, we really needed to get that shot, or we really needed to do this. That would have really made this a lot easier and better. And then we go, well, we'll put it out on the second channel. And so that video production quality, in my opinion, is still very high. And so people are used to seeing our high production quality. And, it's not so horrible. It's just not as good as we can do. And so this channel is that. And then also I wanted a space where I could have fun. So why did I move the live streams to here? So that, one, live streams were hurting our channel on the main channel. Basically, only about 12 to 15,000 people would watch it on the main channel. And at this point, if you guys are watching the channel, you know that if we're doing anything less than 25, 30, 40, 50,000 views, it's a train wreck. And so every time Sunday, we'd have a great time. 800 people in chat, having a good old time. But YouTube would go, well, you're having fun. Unfortunately, you're not making as much money as you should be, and we're not going to show you your Tuesday video to as many people. So that all incorporates in when people are saying, like, I'm not getting as many notifications. I got the bells on. Well, they go, well, your Sunday live stream was terrible, and we don't want to take a chance that you're going to be terrible again on Tuesday, so we're going to show it to like half as many people as we were going to. Conversely, if we, knock it out of the park and it's a blockbuster video, the next video they go, hey, we're going to show it to even more people than we normally would, because last time you made us a lot of money. And if we can keep that momentum going, it's really good. And then there's times when we just totally miss the mark, right? So the top 5 centerpiece fish. A lot of people love that video. The problem is not a lot of people watch that video. And so YouTube's going, yeah, your next video. So why did I put out a live stream yesterday? So that YouTube will punish that live stream and not punish the Tuesday unboxing video, because so many of you like to see that. So there's a whole game we're playing, and that's what the second channel is to put the stuff that we think is still cool, but not good enough for prime time, if you will. And, lately I'll be honest, I've been struggling on how hard do I want to try. So at a certain point, it's like money, right? At a certain point, you have enough money. And at what point do we have enough people? Like, do I need next month, if I only gain 5,000 new subscribers, am I worse for it? Like, well, what if I could have gained 8,000? Yeah, but maybe I only needed 5,000. At some point, we're finding a rhythm that's just enjoyable. And that's what I'm trying to do right now is we've got basically a video coming out Tuesdays. and like Thursdays, and then on this channel on Wednesdays, and then we're doing a live stream on Saturday. And then usually at some point in the week we do a live stream on the business channel, which we haven't yet this week. But what you got to remember is YouTube is its own business, and then I have at this point literally $1 million business we're running at the other end. That's the online and retail store. And so it's a constant fight for time. And, everyone wants me to sell more things online. Well, to do that, I would have to make less videos. Meanwhile, everyone wants me to make more videos. Well, to do that, I can do less of that. And so it kind of goes in phases. Meanwhile, everyone's like, hey, come to the UK, come to this event, come do this. And we're doing that. So you can imagine if I'm spending 33 hours driving, I can't really be, checking up on my hat order and getting new products and doing those types of things. So being pulled in every direction makes it difficult, and we're doing the best we can. And I would say most of you that are here are our core crew, but a phenomenon that we've been noticing lately, which we find weird, is people spend more time critiquing either our audio or the video or the transitions or something like that than the actual content. And weird. I think that's a sign that we are doing really well when it comes to editing, right? So it's interesting, you guys are into it or whatever, but if you rewind a year ago, pretty much no one was critiquing that. But if you start reading comments, every video, someone's got some input on how we can make it better, that type of thing. And yes, there's always ways to make it better. The thing that I ask everyone to keep in the back of their mind is we also have only so many hours in the day. So as much as I work Jimmy, and I work him a lot, the dude's got to have some time off. I can't just go, you know what, go refilm that. Sorry, you got to go refilm that. We're just not going to do that. And we do what we can. We do it as the best we can, and we learn. We learn every video. Every video we do, Jimmy's going to learn either A, how to edit it, B, how we could make it faster to edit next time, C, I'm going to go, ooh, that angle was bad. Let's not try that again. Yeah. And so, a lot of times we're releasing these videos, we already know the fix. The next time so what you guys don't realize when you go, oh man, that was the worst unboxing I've ever seen. I hated that angle. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. Those are already 2 or 3 weeks in advance. So when you see the next week come out and it's a different style, the comments you made the week before don't dictate what actually happens. We already watched it when it came out and we go, yeah, it was good on paper, but now that we edit it together, we could do better, and we already put those fixes into place. Now, I'm not saying that your comments never help, because there definitely are comments that do help. In fact, someone explained to me why my camera on the 800-gallon is never going to work. And it was linked to a tech channel that explained bit rates, and that confetti and snow basically make cameras, they have to track every little piece of it, and that takes up a lot of the bit rate. Whereas me right now, it's moving pretty slow in the background, but if you get up close to it, it's moving really fast, and the bit rates are spread out over less moving parts. So a school of 200 to 300 tiger barbs looks like confetti, and it's going to downgrade the quality because it's trying to track 200 different moving things all at the same time, and that's not going to work. And so almost no camera in the world is going to be able to do that. So I basically unintentionally have made an aquarium that is impossible to film well in a live camera. Now we know. So when I put in the 280-gallon, I'm going to go, maybe we don't put a ridiculous amount of fast-moving stuff, and we can put the live camera on that one. But this is the problem we've had, is I've put in plenty of time, looked at plenty of cameras going, I don't get it. I can do it at the store. I can do it over here. Why does this look so terrible? And I thought it was internet connection. I've been just dialing in on that, working on it. Does the Nest camera have
manual focus?
What's up?
Does it have manual focus? No, huh?
It's not about the focus. I'll link you the video. It's about your bit rate. And so we'll get super nerdy technical because I didn't know this, and I don't think Jimmy knew this. But right now, with the film coming through, the Aquariumcoop Live at the top and all that stuff, it basically sends a piece of code that says, these didn't change since the last frame. Don't worry about it. And it keeps doing that. All the stuff that doesn't change, it keeps doing that. Now, me and you are moving. It sends code that says, hey, move the hand to the right. My head's not moving. So move my hand, but the head can stay. And it does that pixel by pixel. Well, when you have 300 tiger barbs all moving at the same time, it has to go, well, we're tracking all of these pixels now, and they all are moving, and there's only so much bandwidth through the internet, basically. And you have to compress it. And supposedly back when TV was new and there was only like 5 channels, they never compressed it. But now we compress it so much that if there's a ton of moving stuff, it's not going to work. And that's they were explaining, this whole video is explaining why when your favorite sports team wins and the confetti and everything's coming down, why the video looks so crappy. And it's because basically the internet is filled with video and so many people doing so many things that we've limited ourselves by technology. We're using it so much that we can no longer get that bandwidth to make it work. I'm sure there's some crazy setup. I bet you we could spend, $500,000, and then you could have a look into that aquarium anytime you wanted, and it would be crystal clear. But the reality was I was trying to spend about $100 to make that happen, and I would spend $500, but that option doesn't exist either.
Okay, we got a super chat from Rory, $5 euros. Or pounds. Appreciate every video you lads post on YouTube. Only fish keeping since June, but you've made it so much more fun for me. Keep on rocking, smiley face.
Nice. That means you've been in, 3 months or so? Good. Yeah, June, July, August. We're in September halfway. Yeah, about 3-ish months. That's a good time to be. You still got so many things to experience, which is awesome.
How do we super chat? You can't do it on iOS, but you can
do
it
is
on
a way.
Android.
There is a way.
Go on desktop mode.
Yeah,
right.
So someone said you can go on desktop mode or open up Safari and then go through YouTube that way and do it. Otherwise, if you were just on an Android, you would just click the button down by your text thing. It's like a little money sign, and you can give us your monies. We'll take it. We will put it to great use. And by great use, I mean hopefully things that keep us going. Yeah.
Let's see.
So, what do we got now? What do we got?
Is it safe to clean your glass aquarium with Windex?
Yes. So, in a vacuum, Windex does an awesome job of cleaning glass. In practice, we just want to make sure we're not spraying it into the aquarium. So sometimes if you're to lean away and spray the towel or whatever you're going to use, then go back and wipe the aquarium, that's pretty darn safe. Nothing's ever going to be 100% safe. But yes, I would say Windex, pretty good at doing that. And, be mindful not to be like, oh, the aquarium's right here. Let me, or instead of spraying the regulars, be like, all that stuff's going to get into the top. Even that is probably still not toxic enough to kill it, but why chance it?
How do I stop oil film from forming on my water surface? I have plenty of surface agitation in my tanks, but they still form.
So it's a protein film is what it is. And some foods, like for instance, Canadian mysis shrimp has insane amounts of oil. So much so I had to do water changes. But in general, my favorite way is an air stone. So way in the back corner there, back corner by that magnet, there is one air stone. And what happens is that air stone rises up and it pops. And when it does that pop, it flicks stuff. And so it flicks that oil onto your glass top or out of your aquarium if you don't have a glass top. And then eventually you go and you clean that glass top. Otherwise, you could use some surface skimming capability. It's going to pull some of that oils down in. You can hopefully get it processed out by your filtration. But the other way, like if you're really anal retentive about it and wanting to get it gone, like right now, you can lay paper towels down across the top of the water, then lift them up, throw them away, lay another one, and the oil will stick to that. But that's not a long-term solution. You don't want to use a roll of paper towels every other week going, yeah, I got to get me my protein films out of there. So I would devise a system that will continually take care of that for you. And you'll probably find one air stone will solve it in 24 hours. You'll be like, yeah, I don't even have protein films anymore. But do keep in mind that protein film is blocking oxygen exchange. So
if you guys weren't to get in a big fight, who would take over this channel? It would be Corey.
I own it. Yep. So I'm very aware in business. So, from the get-go, I said, I will own this channel. You work for me. I pay you, that type of thing. It would have to be a pretty big fight for me to leave someone I guess, how do I say this? Like in a bad spot. If Jimmy was like, you know what, man, I don't like your wife's cooking and I'm tired of being around, I'd be like, cool, man, let's part ways. Let me help you like launch the Sashimi Whiskey channel again. Like, I try not to ever get into a point where I don't like someone anymore, because that means you let it go on way too long without addressing the issues. So, yeah, but there's other things too. Like people would say like, well, that's not very fair. You own it all, even though Jimmy's on here. Keep in mind, he's currently being paid to sit there. And then also it's a safety net. So when, when we do a copyright infringement or something like that and we get sued, the Aquarium Co-op will battle that, not just Jimmy, So there's logistics and stuff like this comes up all the time, and I don't talk about that a lot, but, I got to use lawyers. I got to do things. Like, things have to happen with my business and the YouTube channel in general that aren't fun, And so, and almost everyone runs into that, by the way. And so it's not like I'm just a unique person or I'm just doing bad things. And so it's one way that I can protect my employees from that when they're under the protection of Aquarium Co-op and our liability policies and all those types of things. As long as they act under the name of the Aquarium Co-op, protected. The minute they go on their own, so if Jimmy goes and he does something horrible on the Sashimi Whiskey channel, he's completely liable for that, and I can't help him legally at all. I mean, I could pay for a lawyer, but the Aquarium Co-op can't do anything for him.
Good answer. All right, so this gentleman wants to know what's a common name of the best guppies in the world. He wants to buy them in India.
So the long name is
it's a super long
Platinum Mosaic Dragon Elephant Ear Guppies. So those are mostly traits. So like platinum and mosaic. So mosaic tail, platinum. Then it's got elephant ears. Oh, and half moon. It's also half moon because they're all half moon. So all those are describing a bunch of traits, but they don't really have a name like, for instance, the German Berlin Buttercup or anything like that. They get all those traits, unfortunately. So yeah, you almost want to start by looking like, okay, I'm looking for a guppy that's got this and this and this and this and this. What do you got? You got all 5 of those things or not? So.
Let's see here. Wow, had no idea that uploading to YouTube involves such strategy. Thank you for taking the time to explain the second channel. It's always been a pleasure to hear you talk about things you research. And can you use a laser pointer?
Can I use it? Do I?
Is it in front of you?
I can get it. If you can serve up another question, I can get it.
Okay.
I packed it away because I might need it while I'm out of town. And that seems insane, except sometimes you just find yourself, you're like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of people that are bored. I could put on a presentation about that. Let me see if it'll... Laser pointer.
They're already gathered up. Oh,
yeah. They're running. They're running.
So awesome. Let's see here. Will you add any cichlids to the 800-gallon?
I'm trying to think if I have any in there yet. I think long term I will. Okay. Short term, probably not. Like if I was gonna add some, I'm trying to put this away. It'd be like Juraparis, probably some Earth Eaters.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to think what else. I thought about adding just like a Paracrebensis because I don't know, I just like them. But the goal right now is to enjoy what I have. So, and I think a lot of us run into this. Like there's plenty of fish I want, right? There's no shortage of like, that would be cool, I want to do that. But the minute, like right now, for how many months, I don't know how many months it's been, we are enjoying clown loaches and tiger barbs, right? Well, at some point I'm going to add some other stuff in, and then my attention might go to them, and I'm not appreciating that anymore. So I'm wanting to wait until I'm like, I'm kind of bored of just tiger barbs and clown loaches. Ooh, let me add this. Okay, now I'm having fun with that. And so I want to keep revitalizing my interest in the tank. Now, if I just go and I put 15 different cool new fish in today, 2 or 3 months from now, I'm going to be like, ooh, what's new that I could put in there? That whole, and I believe we all have this in the aquarium hobby, that I just want something new effect. I think that plagues us all. And so I'm trying to space that time out as much as I can.
Cool. Did I just hear a cat?
You did.
Yep.
That's every time you hear the cat, we got a YouTube subscriber. That's what that number is above Jimmy. I bought a little thingy that does that. So
Have you tried TubeBuddy, Corey? It can help manage your channel. Yes.
Definitely. I have a Legendary subscription.
Yeah,
Been using it for about 3 years. So Legendary is the highest level you could possibly have. I was helped giving feedback when they were developing it and stuff like that. I also have vidIQ accounts. I also have the new one, which is Morning Me account, which is in beta. That if you need it, I can actually get you into it. That one's pretty cool. Does some different things. But in general, yes, there's not too much, in my opinion, that's going on with YouTube that I'm not aware of. I'm not going to say I'm the next Daryl Eves, but I spend quite a bit of time because I enjoy it researching the new trends and figuring things out. Just like I like to figure things out in an aquarium, I love to figure it out on YouTube as well.
Is it time for food talk now?
Could be. Well, I go wherever the conversation goes too.
Exactly. Why do people hate balloon mollies?
So the main hate on balloon mollies is that they're deformed. So here's what happened. Let me get the backstory. We're making some mollies. Some come out deformed. We go, oh God, kill those things. Making some mollies. And then some years later, someone goes, hey, those are kind of cute. So then we breed those. Then the public goes, hey, those are kind of cute. And so now they're a thing. Technically, they are deformed, but they are no more deformed than a fancy goldfish is. And fancy goldfish don't get the same hate that a balloon molly gets. Now, there's a lot of different types of balloon fish now. There's tons of, gouramis and rainbow fish and all these things. And the reality is people will buy what people like. So some people don't like them. There's lots of people that say, I don't like any fish I can't find in the wild. There's people that hate, blood parrots and flower horns and all that. I just say, cool, like what you like, I'll like what I like, and I'll buy what I buy, you buy what you buy, and it's all good. Like, for instance, I don't like glowfish. That's not true. I like the way glowfish looks. I just don't like the way glowfish are patented and that type of thing. So I choose not to buy glowfish. I'm not going to hate on you for keeping glowfish. I'm just making a personal choice. Easy as that. And I try not to make people align with what I like. Instead, I just go, cool, you like that? And don't get me wrong, I'm super jealous of people that have glowfish tanks. I really, really, really like the red tiger barbs that are glow. They're so cool looking.
They're really
I've
cool.
brought them in for customers. I don't let them sit on the store floor, but I will bring them in. And then I also think that the rainbow sharks that are glow are pretty sweet also. I've never had one though.
What's the best fish to combat filamentous hair algae?
I like the Florida flagfish quite a bit. So flagfish is what I would go with. And I'm trying to think of anything else. Some hungry mollies will do it too, but it depends on water parameters and stuff like that.
What are your thoughts on RedTube, Corey? Or Red YouTube? YouTube Red?
YouTube Red? So I don't have it. Let's start there. I haven't used a trial or anything. I never needed it until I started listening to people's videos in the car. Then that's the only time I really get ads, right? Because full disclosure, I run ad blocker on a desktop. That's me. Most of the public does. But on my phone, I don't have an ad blocker. And it's a slight inconvenience. I would say slight. So I haven't bought it yet. That being said, if I used it more, I probably would. I have no problem in paying for things that I deem worthy. I think the biggest thing for me actually is that on your phone, when you have YouTube Red, you don't have to have the screen on to listen to music and that type of stuff anymore. And that would make a big difference. Except I already have a giant old battery on here, and I can go for days without having to plug my phone in anyway. But if I didn't have that capability, like if I had Jimmy's horrible phone that he can't even get out of bed in the morning without it being dead, then YouTube Red might make a ton of sense for me. When it comes to helping out people you're watching, in my personal opinion, I think it's a great deal. And here's why. You put some money in, YouTube gives me or anyone other YouTube creator a little bit of money, and you get a better viewing experience. And that's the real difference. If we could find the perfect way so that, let's just think about this for a minute, just a minute here. If all of you, let's say you watch 5 videos a month from us, let's just say it's just 5. If you spent $1 to do that, which is 20 cents, we would get, what is it, $84,409 a month. That's an insane amount of money. We could do crazy things all the time with that kind of money. Instead, we make, and this is the real talk here. Instead, currently, through just YouTube, we make $3,553 a month. That basically all goes to Jimmy at this point. But that just shows, like, with the current model, what we get paid for making YouTube videos. Now, luckily, I have a business on the side that allows us to monetize you guys as viewers, but most YouTubers do not have that. So, for instance, Shishimi Whiskey, he's got no other way to monetize his channel, and so he might only be getting like, oh, sweet, I made $11 this month. Same thing with other YouTubers. If they don't have a retail business connected to them, they might not be making that much money. Now, that being said, you can do math. If I have 85,000 people roughly and I make $3,500, if you have 1 million people, you're going to make quite a bit of money. But this is why I like things like Patreon and Super Chats and things like that. You know, we all think that we're really pitching in and getting people paid by watching their advertisements. But the reality is, 85,000 people converts to $3,500. And if you were all, so that means that when you watch your videos and you watch the ads, you're contributing, like 2 cents, maybe, And I'm not saying I'm not asking for money. That's not the reason I talk about this. But I watch a lot of other YouTubers who really need that income to improve what they're doing. Like, for instance, just off the top of my head, and I'm not playing favorites. I haven't talked to this person, so I don't want to I'm not trying to make this weird. But let's say JH Aquariums, JH Aquatics. He does the Fish Fam News. Is that right, Jimmy?
JH Aquatics. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that thing's super cool, and he could make it way more of like a news show about.
I would totally watch it.
Yeah, but his channel's only got, and I don't even know off the top of my head, but let's say 500 subscribers or 1,000 subscribers, and he probably, and this is all guessing, he probably makes about $40 a month, maybe, from YouTube. And the reality is, I know he's bought new cameras and stuff like that. That costs him way more. So if the 1,000 people or the 500 people that were watching that every month chipped in 50 cents or $1, he could upgrade that show tenfold. So it's kind of one of those, we're all crowdsourcing, I guess. If we pay for it, we will get better stuff. Now, that doesn't always mean that's right. So you could go, well, let's all give Corey $1, and I get $85,000, and I just buy Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Clearly, that doesn't make the content better. And then next month, you would not give me $1, right? You'd be like, no, not giving you $1. Sorry, buddy. And that's how it would go. But, let's say you did give me $85,000 a month, and we covered every event that was awesome. We raffled away a free plane ticket to an event every month. We did all these crazy cool things. That might be super awesome. We don't know until we can try it, and really no one's trying. I would say the closest person to that right now, in my opinion, is Corvus Ocean. His whole goal is to take all ads off of YouTube, which might be a giant mistake because YouTube might go, how dare you? We hate you. But maybe they don't. We don't know yet. I'm super interested to see what happens. And he's got a Patreon account that we kick in some money, and I think as of this morning I was watching, about $399. Is that right? Yeah, $399 I think is what he gets every month from his subscribers.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome. The problem is he's doing a show 5 days a week. And so minimum, it's 1 hour on the mic, 1 hour prep time. So that's 10 hours a week, 40 hours, and he's making, let's just round to $400. So what is that? Is that, I got to do math while I'm talking at the same time. So 40 hours, $400. Is that $10 an hour? I think. Yeah, it's $10 an hour. So he makes $10 an hour. That sounds awesome until you remember the fact that you have to do those 2 hours between the hours of 3 and 5 o'clock every day. But I have to be at work, you say. Exactly. So he basically has to give up a normal real person job to be able to do that for everyone else. So all of a sudden that $400, you're like, wait, so I could take $400 but then not pay my mortgage? So luckily for him, he's self-employed and he does these things and it works out. But the ultimate goal for him is that the YouTube community, well, not even that, just his people that like him support what he's doing. He has to do less stuff on the outside, which means he can do more for you guys. And I think that's a super cool model that I really want to see happen because I think that works out best. Unfortunately, when you guys super chat, YouTube takes between 30 and 40% of it. So when you go, hey, here's $10, they get $3 or $4 of it. Unfortunately, Patreon, they only take like 7%. So if you give $10, they're going to take what, 70 cents? Much better thing. So I don't know why I got on that weird tangent rant type of thing, but it's something I've been thinking about for a long time with all these creators that are out there that are making stuff that I do want to watch. And I feel like there's not necessarily a good way, because there's lots of creators that don't have Patreon accounts. And so I can't give them money. And I don't want to give them like $1 million. Like I'm not going to go, hey, Flynn, your last video was rad. Here's $7,000. But I would probably go, you know what, Flynn? I'd kick you $5 a month. Sure. I like what you're doing. And when you stop doing what I like what you're doing, I'm going to take that $5 away and I'm going to give it to Jimmy. And Jimmy's going to taunt you with it. You know, so that's, I've had this like, and maybe you guys can let me know down in the comments. If you've watched this long, I feel like you're a pretty hardcore viewer, and you can let me know about this idea. I've been kicking around for probably 5 or 6 months at this point, too afraid to release it because I don't know if it's right for prime time, right? So that means I don't know if people are just going to look at this money grub an idiot, or if they're going to go, hey, look, he's actually trying to do something positive here. So my idea is I start a Patreon account, which I already have it actually, and I limit it so you can only give me $1. You can only give me $1. So for those of you who don't know how Patreon works, you could set like, if you give me $100, I will take a picture, put lipstick on, kiss it, and sign it, and send it to you. Like there's different rewards for different amounts of money. But my goal would be so that you can only ever do $1. That's it, $1. So that no one's getting any, and there's no rewards either. That's the crazy part is, like, what do I get for my $1? The thing you're already getting. Well, why would I do it? Because maybe it'll lead to better things down the road. Maybe not, right? So $1, that's it. But my whole platform is I want everyone who watches fish YouTubers, because I'm not going to try and change the whole world. I'm just going to try and change this little part called the fish YouTube, community. I want everyone to give, if they can, and I totally get if you can't. So I'm not getting on my high horse here, but I feel like most of us could do this. If we all pick our top favorite 3 channels, let's say, and we give $1. So maybe you give me $1, you give Flynn $1, and you give LR Bretts or Corvus Ocean $1 every month. Now, let's say even just half of everyone's subscribers were giving them $1. That would radically change every single channel, every one of those person's lives, and in theory would cost us $3 a month so that we could have much better entertainment, and the creator ourselves, we have more responsibility. I guarantee you, if you guys are delivering $50,000 a month, there's going to be Jimmy's assistant, Jimmy's assistant's assistant, more cool stuff coming. Like we would just have more money to make more things happen. Yeah, exactly. Like we were already talking about, we could really use someone that was really good at making thumbnails. Like yes, if you could just focus just on video and we had another person, all they focused on was the thumbnails, we could really make some cool things happen. Or just a pure graphic artist designer. We go, hey, we need this graphic to put in the video. He's working on the video. We're going to chime into it. We're going to do that. We're going to do these things. We make infographics, all those things. But my idea is, if and so the deal would be like, you could only accept $1 donations, like no perks allowed. And it would give a way to crowdsource this thing. But I don't want it to come off as, oh, look, here's Corey. He's finally asking people for money. Like, I'm not asking that. I'm just saying that with more disposable income, we could do more stupid things, Like, we could go, you know what? Next week is the taco get-together in Wisconsin. We're going to spend $2,000 on tacos. Who wants to show up? We're going to film it. Like, that would just be a fun thing to do. So, let me know down in the comments. Take some time, roll it around that brain of yours and go, hey, and spend some actual time on it. Not just like, I would totally give you my money, or how dare you? I'd never give you a penny. You're just asking for my money. Try to help me think about what's going to go wrong. So the first thing I can think of is X amount of the internet's going to go look at Corey begging for money. All right? I already know that's going to happen. But think about what happens when we're on year 3? What if you run out on how to spend the money? Ooh, I hadn't thought about that. What if I get so much money I don't know how to spend it? Maybe I should think of a charity. Those are the types of things we should think about. Because I'm not sure, you don't know until you get there. And you go, well, how about, for instance, I have no idea if you can be a Patreon from another country. No idea. Don't know. Should look into that. Maybe so, right? And then also, what's my battle plan? Let's say you're living in Africa, and you're giving me your dollar. How do I make sure I give back to Africa? If I'm doing a giveaway, I better make sure I can give away to Africa and Germany and the UK and Sweden and every other country I just didn't name. So there's logistics for sure. I get it. But let me know if you think that's nah, you're wasting your time, or I think that's a rad idea down in the comments, because I can't read all the chat here, and I've been talking way too long, not about food.
We need someone to do math on the fly. That's what it is.
Math on the fly. I need a math guy. Math fly.
And Corvus said, I'll be the assistant to the assistant assisting.
Nice. Assistant to the assistant manager? Yeah.
Yep, I get to have my own entourage. All right, Eves Daigle, Canadian $10. Love what you do for the fish community. Thank you, Eves.
Yes, thank you.
I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure.
That's how you say it, yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's the thing. Right there, that $10 is a good example. That $10 could fund 10 different YouTube creators for the month. And it seems like $1 won't do anything for any of them. But we've had how many super chatters today? 5?
5.
So that's $5. $5 might not do anything crazy. But if we added up all the super chatters all month long, maybe it's $25. And $25 will do something. $25 is a new microphone for a lot of channels, like a clip-on mic. And after a few months, it's $100. Maybe that buys a new accessory they need. And I just think it's a better way to crowdsource, possibly. Now, for all I know, YouTube hates Patreon links or something like that. I don't know. I'm not pretending to know. But I do know I appreciate donations that come our way. I have made this vow from the beginning of my channel. Every dollar we make on YouTube goes back into the YouTube channel. When I was able to get up to a point where I could afford Jimmy, I purchased me a Jimmy, So now we have Jimmy here, and I will do the same thing. If we get to a point where Jimmy gets his own Jimmy, we will have 2 Jimmys. I don't know that we'll have Aquarium Co-op 3, the channel, but who knows, right?
That sounds super sweet. Do you have to pay to get a Patreon? Flynn's asking.
I think it's free. I think you just got to sign up, Flynn. All you got to do is you got to fill out a biography and tell them what you do, and you set it up. And I think at the end of the month, they send you some monies. So if you made $6, they go, great, you made $6. And then we're going to take 7%. I think that's the rate. But you're Canadian, so I think Canadian taxes are 400%. But they're going to take their cut, which is less than YouTube, and then they're going to go, great, man, here's your money. And you go, sweet, now I can go do this. And I would wager this is what would happen, is that those creators who don't put that money back into the channel, people will just slowly pull their money back and go, you know what? I donated that guy money for 6 months, and I've never seen him use that money to do something on his channel, so I'm going to go donate it to this person instead. And vice versa. You might be super into goldfish and bettas right now, and then 8 months later, you're all into arowanas and saltwater tanks. And you might go, well, I'm going to donate my $3 to saltwater tank people because that's what I'm into. Nevertheless, any of that money and all of that money is going to be way more than creators currently get. They won't be tied down by, advertisements, I guess. Did we change mic? Sounds like a cave. Good sound clarity. Just a bit of an echo. It might be that I was being too loud.
Yeah, he's being loud on his side, and it just reverbed over here. And
we need to buy a barrier. We just have it. It's on the list of we should do that, and haven't done it yet. And it's not even a money thing. It's I get off the stream, and then I got to go, oh God, look at all these messages and things I got to catch up with, and then I forget, and then it's next week, and I go, dang it, we didn't order.
Pretty much. Yeah.
We didn't order the thing we're supposed to order.
Someone says your angry voice sounds like Hank Hill.
You better believe it. I love Hank Hill.
Short name just
Dang
came
it, Bobby.
out of the woodworks. I can't give all my favorite channels $1. Do you know how many I have? I would be in debt after the first month.
Yes. So Short and Anxious. This is exactly why I want it to be 3 channels. And so here's one of the problems I thought is now you get people playing favorites like, oh, you're not giving me $1, you must not like me. So I haven't thought about how to get through that because we as creators, we can see who's giving them $1. I can't see who else you're giving $1 to. But I think if everyone, and that's the thing is, cap it at like $3, some really small amount of money, and I apologize if $3 is not a small amount to your budget. I'm not trying to downplay that to anyone. I'm just trying to make this simple for me and what I'm trying to explain. But I think $3 once a month could make a big impact on a lot of different creators, and we can always take everything in the world to, well, dang it, why aren't I getting this? Why aren't you doing that? Blah, blah, blah. And nothing ever gets accomplished. Or we might be able to put in $3, and there's always going to be someone going, well, I'm only getting $6 a month, and this guy's getting $6,000, and my content's better and all that. But the reverse is no one does any of this, and no one's getting any money at all, and content just gets worse or stays worse, right? So there's always going to be favoritism. You know, obviously, it's more likely that you are going to give me one of your dollars because you're already watching me, than someone who's going to start their channel tomorrow. I get that. It sucks. I don't know how we solve that problem yet, but I do what I can do. Like, you notice in the newsletters, I try and promote other channels that are up and coming, other cool things. Today I talked about Greg Sage. We talked about Corvus Ocean. We talked about Flynn. We could talk about Michael's Fish Room. You know, he's in the chat. He's got his channel. We've got the Fish Nerd. We've got all these things going on, right? And I try to incorporate them as much as I can. For instance, Greg Sage released a video, kind of his first video ever, really, since he's been trying on YouTube. And he's got a whole series lined up. Go check it out. Select Aquatics. Greg Sage of Select Aquatics. He does live bears. It's a whole fish room tour. But, you know, the goal is to... What's the saying go, Jimmy? You got to know this. A rising tide raises all boats. Is that what it is? Something like that. A rising tide.
I don't know that one, but
basically, if money going into YouTube creation goes up a little bit, everything's going to come with it. Whether you're the best boat or not, doesn't matter. Yeah. So.
Corey, you're not asking people for money. Don't hate on yourself, dude. I watch you guys more than my cable. That is $100 a month.
I haven't had cable in like 10 years. I hear that. Winter nano tank videos being posted. So part of the problem is we haven't filmed it, so that's our bad. But I did do a full review of the tank, and that's coming out, I believe, this week on this channel.
Yes, it's on the 20th.
Yeah. He knows. It's his channel. He should know, I guess. I just schedule the things and make the things happen. So
Flynn wants to purchase himself a Jimmy.
Purchase himself a Jimmy? I think everyone wants a Jimmy, right? Like, even you want a Jimmy.
Yeah, I do. I would love to clone
Propane
myself.
and propane accessories.
I know we're over the hour, but it's been fun so far, and I like your rants today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flynn says, so it's not like YouTube where you only get your first check at $100. If I make $5 on Patreon, I would get that at the end of the month. Yes, so that's another important part that a lot of people don't know. YouTube will never pay out until you get to $100. So a lot of the smaller channels, that might take a year. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but I would, and you know, I'm speaking for Flynn here. Flynn can definitely correct me. But let's say Flynn needs $50 for a new microphone. He will have to wait until YouTube gets $100. Meanwhile, maybe he got to $50 because he had one video that did really well in the month of January, and it took the rest of the year to get that other $50. Meanwhile, all his videos from February and on could have had better audio, let's say. So it is nice that they do pay you out at the end of every month. That's kind of a nice thing. And maybe we make it a thing like at some point you reference like, hey, I got $222 this month, and I put that towards this thing. You know, like maybe I don't want to call it accountable because I don't want it to be like, you know, I have to prove. Because some people are going to go, yeah, I had to go to my mortgage because to do this, it's my job. And the next guy might go, I bought a microphone. The next guy might go, well, I bought all the M&Ms I need to shoot all the videos about cycling an aquarium. You know, like there could just be fun things, but I think that would help. I think long term, if people, like you made a video, you're like, look at this, I bought X, and people go, oh, so the Patreon does things. Okay, maybe I'll get in on that. So it might be a good thing either way. I don't know. It'll be terrible for YouTube because it probably won't have good analytics, but maybe it, maybe it furthers your channel. And that's the thing, is furthering it as a whole.
Potato, a friend of Corvus's.
Mm-hmm.
So if you buy a Jimmy and Jimmy buys a Jimmy and Jimmy buys a Jimmy, how many Jimmys do you have before another Corey comes around?
Yeah, that's right. There's got to be enough Corys to manage the Jimmys. I don't know. I guess I haven't hit my limit of Jimmy management yet.
Can I do a super chat and have that towards you guys visiting Sacramento again from the annoying guy in the pizza arcade? You've only applied that for talks or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
so it's hard, right? It's hard to put that money specifically towards it. So yes, I can definitely go like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna. So I want to go back anyway. So Backyard Aquatics is in Napa Valley. I want to go to Napa Valley. I want to film there. We're actually talking about doing a collection trip down in Mexico. To collect libraries and stuff like that. So definitely we're going to be hanging out with Carlos and Diane more. And I know like we've got Jeanne down in San Francisco, and we've got, I've made lots of friends. There's the Fish Life down there. There's lots of people. So I want to go back. But what I don't want to tell you is this. I don't want to tell you, yeah, your $5 super chat or whatever it's going to be is directly going to go to that, because then you're going to go, well, it's been 6 months. You haven't been back yet. And it's like, well, there's things that have to happen. So by donating money, and I guess that's a bigger thing. Money that comes to this channel will be used for good and not for evil, but I can't tell you specifically what good it will be used for. Because you're going to go, well, you were supposed to come to, Egypt. I gave you $6. It's like, well, yeah, but I'll say this. California, huge population, one of the biggest demographics watching our channel right now. I for sure will be making trips to California. I won't say as often as possible because that would be a lie, but it is definitely in the brain knowing trips to California are beneficial to me, my business, my fans, and myself. So,
for the sake of your fans, someone said, "Oh my God, you do sound like Hank Hill? Can you say dang it, Bobby?"
Dang it, Bobby! I love Hank Hill. I wanna commission Joel, which Corvus Ocean, to paint me a rad Hank Hill, like shoulders and up, and I need it like on the wall in a desk right next to me, just so people are like, "You like Hank Hill?" You're like, "I do like Hank Hill." That's if you've been putting it together, you notice like, why was my first puffer called Hank? Because I love Hank Hill. Why is my new puffer called Ladybird? Hank Hill. Why is that draft cat called Luann? Hank Hill. There's a lot of Hank Hill characters that make their way into my life, and I like that show, and I guess I like Hank Hill's ethics, I guess, right? It's a cartoon, I get it, but if you're going to do something, do it right. Focus on one thing, propane and propane accessories, or aquariums and aquarium accessories. That's what I do, and it's enjoyable. Reeferpalooza. So I'm not a saltwater guy, Corvus, but I could be tempted into that possibly. Hanging out at your house, I definitely want to do some more saltwater. I don't know when I'm going to dive into it because I'm afraid I'm going to fall down the saltwater funny hole, and be like, no, now I can never go back. What have I done? Again, not again. But, yeah. So.
Flip Aquatics is in the house.
Flippy. That's Rob. He's got a shrimp sale going on, right? I think it's buy a shrimp starter package, get free Shrimp King food. I think that's right. I saw it. I got the newsletter. If you haven't signed up for his newsletter, you should if you're into shrimp. Yeah.
We got to take a food question somewhere here.
A what? A flute?
A food question.
Food question, yes.
M&M's or Smarties? Flynn, come on.
M&M's.
Hands down.
Smarties anger me because the orange ones. That's the only reason.
Orange ones, they taste a little different, or what? The white ones taste
like orange.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Is
you're
that
like,
a problem?
Nom, 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 nom. I eat M&Ms or Smarties by the handful, and then you're like, wait, it's orange. No, that's not. So I gotta like separate them out, and I think a peanut butter M&M is superior to a Smartie. Call me weird. Did I do anything different with my hair? Nope. Just as I got a haircut, but nothing different. Keep it short so I don't have to do much work. My life is modeled after King of the Hill.
I can't wait to see you, Corey. When you come to Michigan, are you going to bring Jimmy?
Yeah, we bought tickets for Jimmy. So that's also, when I say buy a Jimmy, Jimmy's got to go everywhere with me. And when you double every plane ticket, it gets expensive fast. So while YouTube will basically cover Jimmy's wages, if you will, all the extra plane tickets and stuff, the business still foots. So there's still, maybe that's a video sometime. I think I said it on my business channel, or maybe I was thinking about doing this video, but I estimate that it costs me about $100,000 a year to run this channel between plane tickets, time away from the business, employees to make it happen, equipment, just internet connections, all that kind of stuff. And it's kind of a crazy thing to think about, and I think I did talk about that, but yeah, so luckily I have a business and it pays for it, and you guys, buy stuff from us, and that helps. So it's amazing. So.
Can Corey explain something evil he has to spend money on?
Something evil I have to spend money on? Comcast internet? How about that? That's pretty darn evil. Given a choice where I didn't have to pay money to a corporation that... So, here's a fact. Why is it that 3 months ago my internet was... I want to say it was like $150. And then they tell me that it's being limited. So we let you know a year ago that we were going to start limiting how much internet you can use. But now you can give us $50 more a month, and you can have the same thing you had yesterday. So now I pay $200 for the same thing I had the day before. And, so here's the thing. It's if we start limiting it, then it will free up more traffic so that you'll get a better connection. Was anyone here on Thursday where our internet totally crapped out? That was not helping me. So I pay more money to have a worse connection than I had. Alternatively, and I don't understand all the workings, but what if I paid more money and my connection was actually better? That would be insane, So
this is so funny because everyone's just having this epiphany, and me too, that you're Hank Hill all of a sudden, especially when you go on rants.
How does anyone not know this? I literally
when you go on rant mode, it just sounds more like it. That's all.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Kim Sosa's with a $2 super chat. Never gonna let you go. Never gonna give you up.
So Michael Fisher says, "Wow, Corey makes $100K on YouTube." No. YouTube costs me $100K. At $3,500 a month, what is that? So that's gonna be 36,000, 40,000 roughly, I think. My brain, close enough for internet math while you're live. 40 grand. So that basically, YouTube leaves me with about a $60,000 deficit. So I say my business, but the Aquariumcoop picks up that other, which I'm not saying it's not justified. It's clearly advertising. Let's be real here. I'm not saying it's not good for my business and all those things. But in the business side of the the YouTube grind channel, I was just saying, keep in mind when you hop into YouTube, you might be competing against a guy that's spending $100,000. Me, I'm just saying that's a reality, and if you don't know that's going on, that could be why you're getting killed. Going, I don't get it. I put $7 in last month. And conversely, I'm sure ABC and stuff like that, they're like, we spent $79 million this year on YouTube. So, yeah.
All right. You ready for this? You got to rank this, and you got to rank them fast.
Rank them fast.
Regular peanut butter, crispy, and pretzel M&Ms. Go.
Peanut butter M&Ms number 1. Crispy number 2. Pretzel number 3. Pretzel or garbage. How dare you?
What about the okay, I got it.
Crispy is number 2, man.
Where's the peanuts? Number 4?
Wait, was it peanut butter and peanuts?
Yeah, peanuts, butter, and peanuts.
Oh, okay. It's peanut butter number 1, peanut number 2, crispy number 3, and pretzels. How dare you?
I never tried the pretzel ones.
They're not that good. I mean, my wife likes them, but she also likes pretzels. Pretzels are only there to dip into things. I'd rather choose better chips or something like that. Yeah. I'm just saying, not pretzel M&Ms. I'm not like, ooh man, check it out, pretzel M&Ms in this dip. Ooh, yum. That's just crazy. Let's be real. But I will tell you my hack that I learned from my aunt, who's now deceased and gone, which is unfortunate. But the favorite thing ever is, well, there's two things. So I love mixing salty and sweet, but if you go to the movie theater, you take a bag of popcorn, you put that butter on it, so good. Then you dump M&Ms into that thing, and you just take it by the handful, and it is magical. The other thing that is magical, and by the way, I'm going to tell you, both these are fat people food, will kill you, don't eat these in excess, or you'll end up like me. M&Ms and Doritos same time. Like normal Doritos. So good. So good.
Okay, I'm getting those today.
Really good. Ooh, yeah, we should do that. We need to do a thing. Here's what we need to do on this channel. In the second half of the show, every time, we need to start eating something awesome.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can start affecting global trends. Be like, I don't get it. There was a run on Mambas this week. You know?
Well, to be fair, Zenzo had messaged me yesterday,
Yeah?
and he said he has a care package coming to us, and he wants us to try out some candy live. And I told him, yeah, send it to us after we get back from the trip.
Yeah,
so.
that could be a fun thing where it's like, send it, well, within reason. Like, there's just things where I'm like, I already know I'm not going to like that, so I don't want to eat that, you know?
I'm back, sort of. Aquariumcoop has. Everyone's trying to look for your Patreon. It's kind of funny.
Oh, I don't think it's open to the public.
Yeah,
My bad.
You're not gonna be able to find it.
Sorry about that. I wasn't, I wasn't trying to send you on a goose chase. And so I've had that idea for like 6 months, but I'm so afraid it's going to portray me in the wrong light. And I don't know how to say it, but basically there was a lot of GoFundMes and things like that going on, and I didn't want to be the guy that's just going, oh, let me cash in on that too, because I'm really trying to do something different for all YouTubers, and I was afraid that this project would get lumped into a lot of other hate speech that was going on, and I don't want it to die from a wrong timing issue, if that makes sense. So I had to wait. I'm having to wait for a good time to go, look, this is what I'm actually trying to do. And in a perfect world, by the way, a perfect world would be, we get nothing and everyone else gets a ton of money, and that's great. Or we get like, hey, we're making $5,000 a month off of Patreon, and everyone else is fully funded, and we've got all these rad channels to watch. That would be a perfect thing. But I don't know how to start it without leading the example, and that's the thing. And so I got to really work on how it's spelled out on the Patreon page and people can understand it. I have to make a whole video so that people understand this is what I'm trying to do. Why can't I give you $50? I want to give you $50 and then get special privileges with Corey. Like, no. The special privilege part is the part that makes it fall down. So,
Levi Urick with a $10 super chat for Jimmy's tickets. Thank you, Levi.
Thank you. Literally, someone says the internet's like crapping out right now.
Yeah, because you just made fun of Comcast.
Yeah, dang it. The Borg is on to me. Go ahead.
Details on you guys coming to Michigan. When is that? October?
October 13th? It's on Spacebooks. I think it's the 13th. I think we speak on the 14th. And by we, I mean me. But you'll be there.
Yes. What is it about?
Puffers.
Okay, great.
Speaking about the Pufferinos.
All right. So let's see if we can take more Comcast.
Did our internet literally die? People are saying refresh didn't even work.
Hold on, let me see.
Is it at least working for someone?
It says good.
All right, we're probably good. It's probably just Comcast is angry. Angry. So.
Yeah, everyone is. Yeah.
Do all internet companies suck in the U.S.? I don't know. I haven't experienced them all, but so far everywhere I've lived and everyone I've talked to, the answer to that question is yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's working for them. Nothing's working. All right, we might as well, I guess, end it. We are over the hour limit anyways. So.
Yeah, I guess we're done. I don't know what happened. That's just bad times right there.
Thing or something.
I don't know. Oh, well.
Right.
I would say we'll see you next week, but that's impossible because we'll be on the road.
Yeah. Let's talk about the coupon code one more time and then log off.
Aqua 10 gets you 10% off. Woo!
There we go. All right, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks almost.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, sounds good. And,
bring them eatins.
Yep. Thanks, guys.